Very simply, we cannot have open migration from any country where we cannot safely and reliably vet and screen those who seek to enter the United States.
How do you see the World Cup playing out with the tensions you have with Canada and Mexico?
Oh, I think it's going to make it more exciting. Tension's a good thing. Yeah, I think so. I think it makes it much more exciting. And that's on the FIFA World Cup of 2026, which, as you know, is a big event.
It is a great achievement to bring the World Cup next year, the FIFA World Cup.
Very simply, we cannot allow open entry from any country where we cannot confidently and securely verify the backgrounds of those looking to come to the United States. How do you see the World Cup unfolding, especially with the existing tensions with Canada and Mexico? Oh, I think it'll actually bring more energy. A little tension adds to the thrill, even at the World Cup. Yeah, definitely. I think it brings a unique kind of drama. And that's the FIFA World Cup in 2026, which, as you know, is a massive moment. It's a milestone to host such a global event next year, the FIFA World Cup. The world is preparing to unite in North America for what is being called the most inclusive sporting celebration ever held. The 2026 World Cup is touted as the largest football event ever staged. It's a once-in-a-generation spectacle, a soft power display, and a symbol of international unity through sport. But in the background, a crack is forming. On June 4, 2025, President Donald Trump signed Proclamation 10,949, reinstating and broadening travel limitations on what the administration labeled high-risk countries with inadequate vetting systems. The new policy blocks entry from 12 nations, including Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Afghanistan, Yemen, and Syria. It places partial limitations on 7 more, including Venezuela, Cuba, and Nigeria. The language appeals to security, but the context this time is very different. The world is watching, and the world is skeptical. What makes this more alarming is not just the policy, it's the platform. The US is hosting the globe. Yet now, it is imposing restrictions that shut out millions of fans, staff, sponsors, and media. To clarify, athletes, coaches, and team delegates are exempt, but that's just a sliver of the entire operation. The rest, fans, families, press, regional crews, vendors, logistics teams, are now caught in a silent blockade. This isn't hearsay. These are codified terms published by the Department of Homeland Security and enforced as of June 9, 2025. YouTube isn't known for loving stories like this, but we believe people need to know the facts. If you agree, please like and subscribe. It helps keep our work going. Even before the order activated, visa delays were already derailing event plans. Per U.S. State Department data, wait times for visitor visas now stretch beyond 300 days in countries like Iran, Egypt, Nigeria, and Kenya. For many, it's nearly an entire year. FIFA personnel and teams have a fast-track system. They've got cards, yellow cards and red cards. Yellow means a warning, right? And red means removal. But for fans, reporters, and contractors, no such pass exists. They must apply through standard channels, already clogged by pandemic backlogs, staffing, gaps, and now, politics. The impact is real. Fan clubs in Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia have frozen plans. Many are now pivoting toward Mexico, which shares hosting duties but does not impose these restrictions. These are not anomalies. They're signs of structural failure within a World Cup colliding with immigration control. This is no longer foreign policy drama. It's a logistical nightmare in U.S. cities preparing to host games. Officials in Houston, Atlanta, and LA have all acknowledged the challenges. The travel ban, paired with stepped-up enforcement, is straining planning, logistics, hospitality, and outreach. In a joint statement, Houston's organizing team warned that immigration actions, lack of federal coordination, and diplomatic tensions are making partners nervous. It's the news we all waited for. World Cup 2026 is coming to Houston. The city is among 11 U.S. host cities, but hotel bookings are stalling, travel agents are canceling blocks, some vendors are walking away, there's no national policy to ensure fan mobility is protected. A Texas tourism official put it bluntly in June, "We're hosting the biggest event on Earth, but locking the world out." Iran offers a striking example. Iran has qualified for the 2026 Cup. Its players, managers, and delegation will be permitted entry. That's covered under the athlete clause. But its fans are completely banned. There's no allowance for spectators. So, if an Iranian fan bought a World Cup ticket for LA, they won't be allowed through the gate. That rule is non-negotiable. Logistically, organizers are reacting. Leaked plans suggest some Iranian matches may be moved entirely to Mexican venues. It's a diplomatic maneuver, but it adds complications and raises major questions: equity, consistency, and the very nature of what it means to host. Iran is just one of 12 barred nations. Many others are effectively cut off by long visa delays. Embassy data from Egypt, Nigeria, Morocco, Kenya, Ghana, and Algeria shows waits topping 300 days. For countries like Sudan and Somalia, there's no path at all. The result? A global tournament run by a nation actively excluding vast parts of the globe. The financial fallout is already visible. In 2022, fans from Africa and the Middle East poured hundreds of millions into Qatar's World Cup. Hotels, flights, gear, tickets. That stream is now threatened, not from lack of interest, but lack of access. Even non-banned travelers are facing hurdles. Many report embassy silence. How many people will pack into Houston's stadium in 2026? The city is scheduled to host 5 or 6 games at NRG, but travel schedules are unmanageable and appointments nearly impossible. Planning a trip now feels risky. This isn't a minor hiccup. It's a global disruption. And yet FIFA remains mute. No clarification, no intervention. But silence doesn't equal confidence. It signals strain. Internally, football leaders are asking tough questions. How can FIFA call this the most inclusive cup ever while blocking whole regions? Leaked briefings suggest alarm is rising inside FIFA, particularly in Africa and the Middle East. These aren't fringe markets. They are football powerhouses. Revenue and loyalty both run deep. Legal challenges may also be coming. Fan associations in multiple countries are exploring discrimination claims. Their argument: if a nation hosts the cup, it must ensure fair access to fans. FIFA is trapped. On one side, its contracts with the US, sponsors, and networks. On the other, growing backlash from fans and rights groups who say this isn't a world tournament, it's a filtered one. Originally, the US predicted over 5 million foreign fans would attend, with big spending expected in host cities. That forecast now seems unlikely. With many blocked and more deterred, the numbers are dropping. Hotels are adjusting. Airlines are rerouting. Some vendors want guarantees. Some want out. So far, no major sponsor has withdrawn. But top brands are reassessing. Adidas, Visa, Coca-Cola, and others rely on Middle Eastern and African markets. Marketing teams are now reconsidering budgets. One European sponsor asked, "If fans can't come, should we scale back?" That feeling is spreading. Canada and Mexico, the co-hosts, are drawing a clear line. Mexico's foreign ministry recently reaffirmed that it would not impose travel restrictions on Cup visitors. Canada followed up, promising full access with no filters. While they avoided directly criticizing U.S. policy, the contrast was deliberate. Some national teams, like Algeria, Iran, and Venezuela, are requesting more games in Canada or Mexico. The logic is simple: easier visas, neutral politics, and fan security. This is more than a diplomatic split. It's tearing at the core of tournament operations. The travel ban is framed as safety, but watchdog groups call it discrimination, with global fallout. Groups like Amnesty, Human Rights Watch, and the ACLU have voiced opposition. They argue this is about precedent. When a host country excludes populations, it sets a troubling standard. The reaction online is explosive. On X, TikTok, and YouTube, hashtags like Boycott 2026, Not Welcome, and World Cup for All are going viral. Nigerian influencers, Lebanese fans, Brazilian streamers, all are speaking up. A Nigerian fan video recently went viral. The message, "We saved, we planned, we bought tickets. Now we're shut out, not for anything we did, but for where we're from." This has become more than policy. It's a fan uprising. And so far, FIFA hasn't answered. But with pressure mounting, they may be forced to respond. That might mean match relocations, it might mean special visa talks, or a public statement, but staying silent isn't viable. Eventually, the big question looms. Can the United States still claim to be a global host? Yes, the stadiums are ready, the airports are open, the contracts are signed, but the spirit of international sport is under strain. If fans are blocked, if media is denied, if families are stopped, then this isn't the World Cup. It's a tournament in pieces. Can global institutions still trust the US to host inclusive events? Or is that trust already eroding? Because this was never only about football, it was about the signal we send. And right now, the whole world is watching. Tell us your thoughts in the comments.